can never finish that as a fan.
Will you say that again? All I could hear was my own burp.
I can never finish it straight out of the can for some reason. It's not a shotgun.
There's a level of commitment.
There is, and I don't want to get the floor messy.
Welcome to the Game Day Chug podcast, episode 7. And
This weekend sucked. This weekend sucked on every single level. When we ended the show last week, we were praising the Astros for finally winning a Tuesday game.
Yep. First game of the series there, I believe, against the Arlington Rangers.
Right. Went on to sweep them to win the Silver Boot. We were riding high. Mm-hmm. We had the Texans were facing a very winnable opponent against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we have dominated over the last 2, 3, 4 seasons.
Especially in their barn.
Yeah.
We whooped their butt in Jacksonville multiple times in a row.
And we come back here the next Tuesday. We get swept by Seattle. We lose the division. Division's gone. Playoff hopes are slim to none. Texans played in probably one of the ugliest games I have ever seen in my life.
It was to the point I told myself at the beginning of the season that I was going to get off of the red zone and watch a Texans football game from start to finish. In that first half, it was so god awful. It was so terrible to watch. Bad. I needed just to see scoring. I just want to see some scoring. I can change the channel to it. They got 10 touchdowns going on over there. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. And you would just like to see an offense that can put a drive together. I mean, the one touchdown we had on Sunday was
a 50-yard bomb.
It was a 50-yard bomb because of a turnover. A turnover on downs.
I think so. I think so.
We were given good field position, and then we come out of the gate with a 50-yard bomb. Nico was wide open, landed
so wide open, like somebody messed up.
Right. It was a defensive mishap. It probably wasn't even a good play call. The Texans, they need to fire the offensive coordinator. He's got to go. 3 games in, you're supposed to be better than Bobby Slowick already. You're not supposed to be at his level. You're not supposed to be working up to be better than him. You're already supposed to be better than him because you're replacing him. And so you come in, the offense is probably as bad.
It's worse in the league.
It's the worst offense in the league. I haven't seen the Texans play this bad since David Culley was the coach.
And that was a
bad roster.
On purpose.
On purpose.
With intent. Yeah. And this is a good roster with intent.
That was before Davis Mills came around.
That was the days of Tom Savage, who I had so much faith in. I just want to say
Tyrod Taylor was our starting quarterback that year.
The Tom Savage days, I had full belief that Tom Savage was going to be the guy.
I still remember sidebar. I still remember I think it was a Sunday Night Football game. Tom Savage was backing up Brock Osweiler, and it was a pregame footage of them just warming up and throwing slant routes or whatever. Tom Savage's ball just came out so much quicker, cleaner. He had a better spiral. It just looked like a natural form where Brock Osweiler was like...
He looks like a giraffe. Everything he does is gigantic.
It was horrible. But let's get back to the current Texans team here. So I think C.J. Stroud, Obviously, he's regressed. He's not the same rookie CJ Stroud. But Clay, do you know the difference between his sophomore season, his third season, versus his rookie season? What's the difference in the quarterback room aside from the offensive coordinator?
Davis is there. QB room. Are you referring to a third quarterback on the roster who was
I
giving
am.
tips?
I am. Case Keenum was the third string quarterback CJ's rookie season, and CJ praised Case for being there, for having, or for being
Yeah,
the
for
guy
being
that
the
would
vet
come
in the
to
room.
him. Yeah, for this is what you need to look at. This is what you're missing on the sideline. Hey, bud, great. I see what you were looking at, but look here. Look here. The next play. We haven't seen that from CJ. The adjustment from quarter to quarter, drive to drive. We haven't seen that, and I think
I
a
will
lot of
say,
that has to do with Case Keenum not being in the room.
yeah, I guess it's a credit to your point because it was about last year, and I said it plenty last year, which is get all your scoring done in the first half because whenever we come out in the second half, there's not any scoring, and so this year's team is basically what the second half of games last year Texans looked like. Um, I can't remember how many games that we would score 17 or something like that in the first and be like, okay,
Mhm,
okay, we're good. And then all field goals to finish it out. Uh, the Bills game, even in a win last year,
mhm.
that was the case. Um, the Lions game in a loss where we had them by the balls at halftime and choked it away. That one still gets me. Um, but I didn't necessarily think about Case. That's a good point. That is a good point. I I
He
don't
did,
know if I agree 100% about firing the offensive coordinator. I
dude.
The results aren't there, okay? I can't sit here and vouch for the guy and say look at all the good he's done, okay?
Two
But what I
touchdowns,
can
two
say,
games,
yeah, an 0 for 4 in the red zone. I
three
agree with all of
touchdowns.
that.
If you count the gimme the Bucks gave Nick Chubb last week.
I it's to me, the one guy who's in the offensive room who I like and who I trust is Gerard Johnson. Former quarterback, and has been with CJ his entire career. I'd like it if he had a bigger voice whenever we were in the search. If we were going to promote from within, it probably would have been him to be the OC. Um, so I'd like for him to have a little bit of, I don't know, more responsibility or
Yeah.
some of it. The thing about Kaylee that we were told whenever he came in, he was tight ends coach with the Rams. Their tight ends weren't a whole lot to write home about. Higbee was serviceable, but we lost them all before the games started counting.
Mhm.
Okay, we have one tight end and a couple guys who fill out the roster who also play tight end, who aren't tight ends or aren't they don't even reach league like talking
But
circles.
but even if Akins was healthy, even if Stover was
Or like
healthy,
Brevin Jordan is like the one who I really thought
or
was a big deal.
Brevin Jordan, not Akins.
Akins
Um,
was a couple of years ago, but
yeah, sorry.
still, hey,
Okay,
red zone
Schultz,
target.
Schultz, um,
Brevin,
Brevin, and
Stover.
Stover are those three tight ends that you can that's your offense. Like you just filter them in and out, and they're gonna produce. No, you got a team with Nico Collins, who could be a top 5 wide receiver. I'm not so sure he is right now.
I'm just saying,
That
if you
fumble
want
on
to,
Sunday cost the game.
yes, it did. The thing I'll say is that in an offensive system where you want to run the ball, you need tight ends that can block, and we've gone over it 100 times that is not Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a big slot receiver, basically, and he does not belong on the end of a power run where he sets the edge of that run. I
Mm.
trusted Stover to do that. I trusted Brevin Jordan to do that. I don't trust Schultz to be that player. And I will say there was a drive that the Texans had that was a good drive. Took a lot of time, and it was a whole bunch of dink and dunk, but you got to third and manageable instead of everything being third and 7 to 11, like is what we're used to.
Yeah.
And then watching that game last night between the Ravens and the Lions was like a different class of football. It was, you're looking at those guys saying, I wish I had half of this in a game,
Yeah.
just drives of 98 yards, 90 plus yards from the Lions.
Yeah.
It's the running game, and we aren't doing it right now. And not, um, it's not Chubb's fault, it's, I'd love me some Mixon right now. I know that. Okay, let me say this. Because I had this thought. I've been brewing on this for about a week. Okay.
Okay.
The Texans are the defense Bengals. Okay. Last year, the Bengals
Good on defense.
did everything. Last year, the Bengals started off 0-3, played the Panthers and won. The next week, they played the Ravens and lost, so they were 1-4, which is where we're headed, if we're lucky. If we're lucky, we beat the Titans tomorrow. We have a sliver of hope. We play the Ravens in Baltimore, and we know how that goes. And so we'll be 1-4 going into the bye week. But here's the Bengals records. They were 0-3. They got up to 3-5. They slid to 4-8, and then they won out, and they went 9-8. They had an offensive unit that could hang with anybody and a defensive unit that let everybody back in. And we're the opposite. We can hold anybody to play down in the mud with us and then can't take advantage whenever it's time. So it's these one-score games where there's a bad break in every game that seems to be the difference.
Yeah, 3 plays have equaled us to be 0-3.
And if we're talking about 3 plays, with the news of the release today, CJ Gardner-Johnson was released by the team today.
Yeah, rightfully so, from what I've heard.
Seems like the locker room aspect wasn't very good, and it seemed like I think he was talking about other people's contracts.
Well, and this is all just speculation, but it was after we went 0-2, and they asked him a question. He goes, we need to look at some things, and I've never been in this situation before.
Yeah, got to go back to the drawing board. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Who's we don't know. We're not in the locker room, but he could be going up to Will Anderson after these games and being like, man, you had 2-3 sacks tonight. Defense played its heart out. You're wasting the prime of your career here at the Houston Texans. If you could go, don't even resign. Go to another team. And so if he was doing that, which I'm not putting it past him.
I think he was saying that there's players on the defense that aren't as good as him that were making more money than him, which you just got here. But yeah. I saw there was what was it? I think his name is DJ Bienemy on Twitter. He was the one who wrote the report up, and it had 3 plays, one from each game, where CJ Gardner-Johnson missed an assignment that led to a touchdown or led to a big play. This last Jaguars game, it was on the last drive, the Brian Thomas play that went all the way to the 10 or the 5, whatever it was. And then against the Bucs, it was the third string tight end who scored the first touchdown.
Yeah.
And then the Rams tight end touchdown right out of the half.
Yeah.
It's
you can't
if
talk
you're not paying attention. If you're not paying attention to how the defense lines up and you see someone else who's the closest guy to them and you think that they made the error, but it's an error in communication, it's something that we didn't really have to deal with last year. And so if there's lapses on the back end of a team that's, bailing out to go get the quarterback, one error on the back end is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
And talking about another player's contract in closed doors, in front of cameras, whatever it may be, that's classless. You don't need to be in my locker room. You don't need to be a part of my franchise. I don't want to hear it on any team. On it, if you're talking about our team or another team, other people's money is none of your business. You're here to do a job. You were brought here. It's a 1-year deal.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you,
It
you
sucks.
proved you
We
proved and
paid
said
you
that
to be a impact player, a force
yeah.
multiplier on the
The
defense.
opposite side of Stingley, who got hurt last week. I mean, who hopefully he's
He's playing safety. Okay. So you have Kamari and Stingley on the outsides, and you have Kalen Bullock, and CJ was the other one. And last year that was Jimmy Ward and Eric Murray.
I thought Petrie's a safety and
Petrie
Garner
plays like
Johnson.
a nickel. Petrie plays
Okay.
like a nickel, which is, it's probably what CJ Gardner Johnson wanted to be, which means, you're closer to the line of scrimmage
Yeah.
and you get to blitz more. And that
Yeah.
was something that he cited. It doesn't matter to me. I'm done talking about it. You're off the ship. I'm riding with the guys who are in the ship. I'm
Get
still
out of
here. Okay. I'm still here.
We're still here.
Ryan Fitzpatrick came out today on his podcast. Thank you, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know you're listening. Shout out Fitzmagic. And he said that he's still taking the Texans to make the playoffs. I appreciate that. He said the defense is all world and the offense can only go up, which is true because it's so bad.
It can't get much better. It can't get much better.
Yeah.
And fun fact, there was once a team who started 0-3 who made the playoffs.
Who was that team?
It was the Houston Texans.
Right.
And they went on to win, I think, 9 straight games that year after starting 0-3. So it is possible. Clutch City lives on. We can do this. It's a different team than it was then. It's a different quarterback than we had then.
Arguably, we have a better one.
Arguably, but does CJ? So the biggest thing that I took from the Bucks game was Baker has that quality where I got to go make a play. I got to I put the team on my back. I got to go do this. Deshaun in a Texans uniform
had
that. He could put the team on his back though and go get a play and make something happen out of nothing.
I saw someone talking about because last night there was a play that the Lions did on the goal line. I think it was 4th down. They had Amon-Ra basically lined up as a fullback with Gibbs behind him, and Goff handed it to Amon-Ra, who pitched it out to Gibbs for the touchdown. And someone said, like, this blew my Texans' mind. Basically, like, there's no way that we have a play that looks anything like this. And then someone said from that year, there was the play where Hopkins got the ball on like a sweep, and he ended up pitching it back to Deshaun Watson, who dove in for a touchdown. It was like on Sunday night against the Pats, and we beat the Brady Pats.
I do remember that play.
So bring back Bill? You want to bring back Bill O'Brien?
I got to be honest with you, man. The offense had never looked better in the 23 years I've watched this team.
I think Deshaun threw for like 5,000 yards.
Yeah. The offense was the best it ever been, except for the 2009 year. Schaub to Johnson all day long.
Lighting the scoreboard up. I have a song on my old iPod.
The Natural.
I have a song on my iPod that's just called Battle Red. And it was a song that was talking about that team. And there's Shopper Johnson lighting the scoreboard up. It was before we had the likes of Paul Wall and Bun B to write us a song. Yeah. I don't know who this fellow was, but shout out him. Battle Red. Go look it up. Pretty fun song.
But, yeah, I mean, the offense just looks terrible. It looks horrible. I had never heard of this Nick Caley guy before he got this job. He wasn't anybody somebody was talking about, like looking for. Oh, you got to look out for this guy. This guy's going to be the next. He's coming up in the ranks. You
it
hear
wasn't
about
a
those
hot
guys.
name.
Yeah, you hear about those guys all the time, and he came from Sean McVay. You figured, hey,
It's good enough for me, right?
and okay. And I also think he spent a lot of time with the Patriots, and this is
That is
something.
a telltale Houston move, and
Yeah,
it's a
this
Caserio thing. That is a Nick Caserio thing
and
because he is the Patriots
this
guy.
needs to go away. We have been trying to do this for far too long.
We've been New England South for the better part of 2 decades.
Yeah, and without the results.
I
It
would have
has
loved for it to just be the San Francisco everything. You know what I mean? If you have D'Amico, poach an offensive guy from there whenever you leave.
he did. He brought Bobby.
That was Bobby.
That was Bobby. That was Bobby Slowick.
Bobby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
So that makes me think that this was not a D'Amico hire. This Nick Caley guy. There's a video going around during the game. D'Amico yelling and getting fired up, which I've never seen before. Since
he said it was at the refs.
They say it was at the refs, but yeah. When you're really looking at the game, the offensive flow, how his defense is playing,
it was not a good flow, bad flow.
How could you not be pissed off at the offensive coordinator?
I'm gonna pivot us real quick. Because
I'm talking about this team.
I have faith in them still. Okay.
I have faith. I will always keep the faith, but 1-4.
We're the defense Bengals.
We're
the defense Bengals. Okay. You have a great unit on one side. Just show up enough to get us into the end zone a couple times a week, and we'll see what we can do.
Let me just end on this. It will not shock me if we're 0-4 after this weekend.
You said it. You said
it. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. After watching what the offense
Cam Ward's coming out party.
Yeah. Well, we saw it.
The Titans beat us last year with Levis.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Vince Young all over again, where he came into NRG when the Texans were,
good, when they were good.
When we were good, and Vince Young stole a game from us. I'm not going to be shocked if we're 0-4 after this weekend going into Baltimore. They're not coming here. We're going there.
Didn't matter if they came here. We saw that.
And they're pissed off too.
That's an interesting game this week. It's Chiefs-Ravens in a battle of 1 and 2 teams. One of those teams is going to leave that week 1-3, which is just wild as far as I'm concerned. Those are your 1 and 2 seeds perennially at this point. It's mind-boggling.
It's like when your mind is wrapped up in a bottle.
I got wrapped up in a bottle. I got a bottle smashed over my head by the University of Indiana. The game day Chug bet last week was Illinois +5. By the time that game kicked off, it was Illinois +7. In other words, the line had moved away from me. More people thought that I was wrong. And they were so right. The haters were right. They lost, I believe it was 63-10. Maybe the worst bet that I've ever made.
That's a bad one. Yeah.
It's about as bad as it gets. That's like the only one that I can say is pretty close to that. Last year, there was a Raiders-Vikings game last year before, doesn't matter. There was a Raiders-Vikings game, and I took the over 43, something like that, and the final score was 3-0 after overtime.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my god.
same type of thing where you can turn it off after the first quarter. This isn't going anywhere.
That's a game I would have taken 2 naps in.
Yeah, and you'd wake up and the score would be the same both times. So
that's horrible.
When it comes to the gambling, okay, you gotta have the duck feathers, right? You gotta let it roll off your back. Okay, you have to regroup, take a shower, get the stink off. Okay, come back stronger.
What are you picking?
I've got two. We sit at 3-3, so this is a pivotal week. And so we go to the bread and butter. We go to what got us here. What have we done this year? We've taken U of H, and we've faded Oregon State. Well, just so happens that on Friday night, U of H plays Oregon State in Oregon, so the game starts at 9:30. But I'll be watching. U of H is favored by 13.5 points. Seems like a lot. They're on the road. It's a 2-touchdown game. But as weird as it is watching U of H, they put up 30 points a game, and it's not always in a flashy way, but they beat you on the ground and they stop the run. Things that Oregon State can't do, run the ball. So I'm going to allow U of H to prove me wrong if they want to, but I'm riding with them.
Go Cougs.
Yes, and then bet number 2 is another one that's close to home. I will be with you live in person for A&M Auburn on Saturday, and instead of taking a side, because battered Aggie syndrome is a thing, and I don't want to now put my full faith into the Aggies while everything around me is crumbling and have them crumble. What I'm doing is I'm taking the over, okay? Over 52.5, because if the Aggies lose, they're not going to lose because they couldn't put up 28. They're going to lose because they gave up 40, okay? That's just the only way I can think of it.
It's so true, though.
It's true. If we're going to lose, it's because we lose 38-42, okay? And if we win, we could win, 32-24. That's an over.
I think the Aggies are going to win. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think for the first time in your life, in your adult life, Clayton, the Aggies are a safe space for you.
Don't say that.
I think so.
Don't say that. You're going to hurt me. You're going to get me hurt.
I genuinely think so, because they got a good defense. They got a good offense. They got a good quarterback.
Do they have a good defense? I don't know. I don't know if they have a good defense.
So you could, yeah.
They gave up 40.
A good defense limits points, but there's also the good defense that has timely turnovers.
Yes. A bend don't break. A bend don't break.
That comes up in big plays. But most importantly, y'all got a head coach that doesn't, for some reason, the last 3 head coaches A&M has had, something happens at halftime where.
Yeah. So that's Fisher, Sumlin, and
guy before that,
Sherman.
Yeah, Sherman. They could have a 20-point lead at halftime and it wasn't safe.
Nope.
Because
I've been there for those.
Yeah,
I've seen those.
I've been there too. They would go into halftime and I guess would go, "All right, boys,
it's time to shit our pants."
I guess we don't. The band's out there. What do you say? We strap some pads on them and let the band play, or for the next 2 quarters. I mean,
I think that is the first time in podcast history. It took 7 episodes for me to be the one to break the cursing barrier.
Yeah.
So the score is probably 3 or 4 to 1 there.
Fuck yeah.
It wasn't free license to do so. Okay. But you know what? In a PG-13 movie, that's all we get. Okay.
That's what you get one.
We did one S, we did one F, and now it's all Stephen A. Smith rules, right? It's just damn and ass. It's the only ones that you can say now.
But Mike Elko, he that chair, he
put that chair on the IR, bro, and it wasn't from sitting on it. He threw that thing and was in somebody's face.
He put it on the gurney.
He couldn't get close enough to the guy he wanted to talk to. The chair was in between him and who he was talking to. Get this thing out of the way. And he's lucky he didn't WWE slam somebody with it because he didn't look. You got to look before you leap, and he threw that thing so hard. Great clip for television.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watch those SEC stories on Twitter. They put out like a video every week of like the SEC teams, and it's basically the same like 6 actors who wear the shirts.
Yeah,
that are.
I've seen them before.
They had one. Now I'm gonna lose it. What the hell was I just talking about? I was about to talk about this, and then I thought about the Vanderbilt guy that they do in those shorts. He's always dressed like a king with a pimp cane and just walking around like this. Oh, no, they flamed the kicker or the holder for Notre Dame for like 2 minutes because the way that the TV operator, the camera operator did, they just held it on the kid who missed the hold like a lot. Like poor kid. Poor kid.
I missed that. I was watching the game. I missed that play. And for the rest of the
why
game,
are they showing this guy in the safety vest?
I was like, who is this guy?
Poor kid.
What did he do? Oh.
Yeah, he Tony Romo'd.
Yeah, he did.
Speaking of Tony Romo'd, the Cowboys got waxed by the Bears, which I would have never seen coming.
God, I wish I had their offense, though.
The Bears or the Cowboys?
Both.
It's fair. You can literally say that about any offense in the league and be right. Like the Falcons got whooped 30-0, and I'd still almost like their offense. You know what? Credit the Falcons. They fired somebody and they gave somebody else is it TJ? I think Yates has play calling duties, or he's taking over wide receiver duties or something like that. They fired somebody on the offensive side.
And they benched Penix. They put Cousins in.
I think that was just like we're down by 30. So I think that Penix is the starter.
We'll see.
Look,
I was being kind of nervous
if you put
Drake London away, I was like, shit.
Oh, hey, let's
dive into that.
TJ here.
Dive into fantasy just for a minute.
TJ and I both won this week. TJ is off the schneid, as they say. He is alive. He has a pulse.
Alive and well.
His team put up 148 points this week. Mm-hmm. And after, before the blood was even cold, he started wheeling and dealing. Can you tell me what the trades were again? We've got one where you acquired Justin Jefferson.
Yes. So earlier in the day yesterday, I sent a trade request to my week 3 opponent that I was currently beating. I sent him, offered him. That's Joe.
Yeah.
I offered him Drake London and Quinshawn Judkins.
It always sounds like you have a stuffed nose. Judkins.
Yeah.
Judkins.
Quinshawn Judkins for Justin Jefferson. And he didn't respond back to me at all day. And so I just messaged him. I said, hey, do you have a chance to peep this trade? And he goes, oh, sorry, bro. I've, haven't looked at it yet. And I was like, all right, well, let me know what you think.
While you're smacking him, while you're smoking him.
And so he 5 minutes later said, I like it. And I said, F yeah, we only get one. Let's do it. And he accepted the trade request. Boom. That was one. And then
And you were right back on the phones. This is like Moneyball. It's like Moneyball. You were
I know,
Brad Pitt.
dude,
You hung up the phone and you called somebody else and you said,
yes.
we're selling Venafro. What do you want for Venafro?
Okay, so with Murph, the first time he's been brought up in this podcast before.
Is it?
I think so.
He was in Japan for a couple weeks there. Konnichiwa.
Oh yeah,
Tomo
he was.
arigato.
I sent him a trade request before. Okay, so while he was in Japan or had just gotten back, I sent him one request, and he never got back to me. And I said, "Let's talk."
Makes sense because
It was
17
my
hours difference or whatever.
Yeah, it was last Thursday. I said, "Let's talk."
He said, "This is the longest travel day that I've ever had in my life. Please leave
12
me
minutes,
alone."
12 minutes later, I said, "Willing to negotiate. Let's make a deal happen tonight." No response. About 30 minutes later, I said, "I know you're getting these messages."
You're a stalker.
8 minutes later, I said, "Murph," all caps. At an hour and 10 minutes later, I sent him the gif of Ryan from The Office doing the
The
notebook.
list. You're on the list.
And he texted me the next morning. He said, "Bro, I just got back from Japan less than 36 hours ago. I'm so sorry. I fell asleep at like 5:30. Jet lag and going into the office since Wednesday afternoon has been effing with me." And I said,
It's true.
I offered him. I said the offer was Devontae Pacheco for London Judkins plus $20 fab. He denied. He denied that trade.
Not Pacheco. Worthy, right? Devontae Worthy?
No, I offered him Judkins and
Okay, this is prior to Joe's deal going through.
yeah, this is last Thursday.
Okay.
And then so I offered him Drake London and Judkins plus 20 fab for Devontae Adams and Pacheco. He denied. He wanted to keep his starters, he said. And so I forget what happened.
He goes down in a blaze of glory over the weekend, scoring.
Yeah. And so he counter offers me and says Adams and Pacheco for Judkins and Smith. And I said, I just traded Judkins. He said,
You missed.
And I said, I could go Smith and Worthy. Worthy's supposed to be back next week. He goes, Adams and Pacheco for Smith and Worthy. And I said, yes. And he said, send it. And I said, send. So
that was whenever they went through bang, bang. You
bang,
were
bang.
like I said, you were Brad Pitt and Moneyball last night.
Yeah, let's get it done. I was feeling hot.
And now you've got a completely reshaped roster.
Yeah.
And a new name. New name. You
Founders.
The founders.
With Adams and Jefferson, baby.
Hey, that movie is very old, but 1776, it's like a musical. Worth the one watch that you're willing to give it, because it does take a long time, but good movie. There's a song about Mr. Jefferson that I can't get out of my head whenever you say his name. And
for a second, for our audience, can I just put my fantasy team out there? Patrick Mahomes, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, TJ Hawkinson, Rome Odunze. On the bench, I still have Rashee Rice. Kicker and defense don't matter.
What's the rest of the bench?
The rest of the bench is pretty bad. Pacheco, Coleman, Higgins, Kirk, and Dallas Goedert. But that's
the bench.
That's the bench until we hit waiver wire tonight. I have
and buys are coming up. So
buys are coming up, and week 8 is going to suck for me because
you have the Bipocalypse.
Gibbs and Walker are both out that week, and so I need running backs real bad.
I've found my way to a pretty good place. I'm going to do the same thing as you. Just going to take the time. Hurts, McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, A.J. Brown, George Pickens, Mark Andrews at the tight end. A sneaky pickup of Trey Benson last week for $2 that would have
I
cost me
drafted him. I
$60.
drafted him. That's why it's so hard for me to try to trade for him because I
Yeah.
drafted him.
Yeah, and then you dropped him, and I picked him up for $2, and now he's worth so much more. Tyrone Tracy.
Fabulous.
Tyrone Tracy on the bench. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. Mixon on the pup. Maybe we find something out by the time this podcast airs next week. Charbonnet missed last week. So I have a stable of broken running backs outside of the most fragile running back who's stayed healthy to this point. Knock on wood, Mr. McCaffrey.
Mhm.
You are my lifeblood. Matthew Golden, Hollywood Brown, Harold Fannin. Hollywood Brown is perhaps not long for the team. We'll see.
You've got a good roster, and I've helped built it with AJ Brown there. I told you it was going to happen.
You did. You said, "Don't worry, he'll score this week."
Yeah, he'll score this week. He'll give you over 100 yards. What was it? 9 catches.
It was all in the second half. I just almost said the Astros because it's very true that what's what the Astros do too. Gave up the early lead. It was like 27-6 or 26-7. That's more like it. And they came all the way back, and it was all in the second half. I think they had like 70 yards of offense in the first half, and then Jalen Hurts said, "Oh, I probably have to pass," and he passed it to AJ Brown, and AJ is so strong. He was coming and just doing curl routes, just coming back to the ball, grab the ball, and then
running
child's play, little boy. And he would just knock them down,
people over,
take 20 more yards,
being a freaking man,
being a big old boy.
Yeah, and he realized, oh, I have an all-pro, Pro Bowl wide receiver that I can throw it to.
Yeah. Maybe one of the 10 best in the league. He's right over there. I can just give him the ball.
Anyway, I don't want to kick the man while he's down, but he's been brought up a couple times in the podcast. And I've said it before.
Oh, you predicted the fall.
It's
one game. It's one
game. It was a bad game though. He lost CeeDee Lamb, our buddy Taylor. He lost CeeDee Lamb, and no one else could produce. No one else did anything. His running backs, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard.
Under 10.
15 points total. He's got Debo, Zay Flowers, and Tet starting as his wide receivers. He denied my Brock Bowers trade, which is why I'm laying into him a little bit. I was feeling myself again this morning. I was like, can I go for Brock? Can I go for Brock? Should I? Could I? I think I could have if I persisted, but I really like Rome Odunze. I think he's going to have a fantastic season.
Yeah, I mean, they had it, like I said, the Bears whooped the Cowboys' butt, and he was a big part of it.
But he's got no one on his bench.
And Lamb getting hurt also, I mean, doomed you. That dooms you. If your first round pick gets hurt, what chance do you have?
I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're not sorry. Just say you're not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
But you are honest. Can
we talk a little Rockets? Can we talk a little Rockets?
I mean, do you want to start with the dagger?
Yeah, I'll start with the dagger. Fred VanVleet tore his ACL, doing God knows what. Who knows?
Probably working out.
You would hope, but he could have been mowing the grass. I mean, who knows?
And that's what Joe Mixon was doing. He was mowing the grass, and he got his ankle caught in a hole.
Yeah, that's because he did not go to Aggieland Green.
Aggieland Green, yeah. Great outfit. Lawn care needs around the Houston area, BCS. I worked there for a while. Good people. Great people.
Good people.
If you want your lawn to be green, believe me, the greenest.
Didn't your wife work there?
No free ads. No free ads.
Free ads.
She paid me for that.
But anyway, Fred VanVleet, he's out for they say the whole season, but I like to think
You can say the foreseeable future.
With it being this early on, mid-September, late September, nowadays ACL injury, 6 to 8 months. So let's say it's 7 months. He's back mid-May. Okay.
Right around playoff time.
Right around playoff time. Right around when we're getting into the second round. There's a guy on the team that no one's talking about right now. They say, what do we do at the point guard position? What are we doing? And
well, you drafted for it.
You have the answer right there. His name is Reed Shepherd. He was the 3rd overall pick last year. As a starter, Cocaine Curry. As a starter last season against the defending NBA champs with no Jalen Green, no, I don't think Shane Goon played this game. He dropped 25 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block with a line of 10 of 17, 3 of 7 from three-point range, and 2 for 2 from free throw. He played 31 minutes. You put him in a starting lineup with Amen Thompson, who, de facto, he's going to be the guy bringing up the ball. He's going to be the guy that's going to be starting it off.
Point guard is only a name.
Yeah, him and Kevin Durant are probably going to be the people that are bringing up the ball. And then you got Shane Goon in the high post, the point forward, the point center, who's the baby Jokic. He's going to deliver the ball. And you just have Reed Shepherd working the perimeter, knocking down threes, driving, dishing to Kevin Durant, to Jabari Smith, to Tari Eason, I
think it takes
weapons. I'm not even worried about Fred. You miss the veteran leadership, but you get this guy to come in and he's going to prove himself. I mean, he's got
some people are worried. I know very little basketball. I know as much basketball basically as you tell me. And
this is how it's going to be.
So, I'm here taking your word for it. And the only thing I'll say is that whenever your offensive output struggled in the playoffs last year, Fred went nuclear. And so you've replaced that. You absolutely have a man on the roster who knows how to go nuclear. Mm-hmm. He's a multi-time MVP and finals winner. And so I don't necessarily have the fear that there's like a power vacuum with VanVleet.
You don't have to worry about not.
It could make the ball move better. It could make the ball move better, is what I'm thinking, because Reed is probably less selfish or more apt to distribute than Fred would be. Fred is you're missing a good player, but
you're missing a really good player, an important piece. But I think long term, this helps the team going forward because Kevin Durant's, as of right now, on a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
he doesn't have an extension. I trust there's going to be one there for another year, maybe 2. It's not going to be a 4, 5, 6 year deal.
Well, no, he's in his mid to late 30s, right?
So, yeah, and Fred VanVleet is also in his mid 30s. So your plan right now is to have Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd be your starting backcourt
right
for the future. And so if you're Amen Thompson, he's already the guy. I mean, he's already he is all defensive.
He's your high flyer too.
Be an all-star next year. He's all world. You bring Reed Shepherd into a system where he doesn't have the weight on his shoulders, where he has a guy like Kevin Durant he could dump the ball to. He has Shane Goon, who's an all-star. You can dump the ball to him. I can't carry the load. I'm gonna give it to Amen. He can make something happen out of nothing. That's gonna help him in his growth long term to where he can eventually get to that.
Well, yeah, he's going to pick his spots. He gets to pick his spots. He doesn't have to carry it.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
so
nice.
important for a young player who's a great shooter. He's a great shooter. He's going to hit. I'll say he'll average prediction.
I'm writing it down.
40. No. I'll say it. 41% from the 3-point line this upcoming season. He's going to do it. He's going to have those open looks. He's going to knock them down. I have all faith in Reed. And he's not as bad as a defender as people paint him out to be. I just read the stats against the defending champs who were healthy, who started their players. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP, he had 2 steals and a block.
Yep.
You know,
look,
I'm not worried.
Look,
It sucks that we're losing Fred, but I think we're going to be okay.
Look, it is it's a point in the season here with the Astros and with the Texans where it's conceivable that by the next time we meet to do this pod, all we've got time to do is talk Rockets because
all day.
It could be gone. They could both be gone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we'll have to talk Texans for no matter which way it goes. We'll have to talk about them until January.
Not if we don't want to. Not if it's really, really bad. I have faith. I have faith.
But real quick, say the season goes disastrous.
Tits up.
And we have a top 3 pick. We've seen the Texans have that before. Been in position. They've had the first pick, the second pick, and the third pick. Maybe this is a conversation for next week. But
what are we looking for?
Since we're 0-3, what are we looking for? Who's out there? Arch Manning used to be the obvious choice as the number 1 pick. I'm not so sure now, although I do think that his game translates more to the professional game than it does the college game.
I would disagree with that just because of something's up with Arch right now. I'm not going to comment. I'm making a point of this. I'm not commenting or ragging on Texas at all because I see them in Thanksgiving time and
November
I want to beat
28th.
them so bad. I'm not talking any mess until that week.
This year, aren't they?
Yes. Now, when you're talking Texans,
you want to go to the tailgate?
You're probably going to say best player available. Okay. I will be in Austin near the Thanksgiving time. I typically do go up to my sister-in-law's, so there may be a chance to do some game day chugs with the enemy.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, you're kind of up there too. That's not a bad idea.
I'm just down the road.
So I'm not going to talk mess about them. What I will say, as far as the Texans are concerned, if we're that bad, best player available. Okay, it's hard to take an interior lineman with a top 3 pick. That's like not a thing that happens.
Have to, Nick. You have to.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not if Caleb Downs is there at pick number 3. Anyway, you know what? Let's punt. Let's punt on sports. I'm done. The Astros are tied 1-1, top of 3.
To the Oakland Athletics, by the way.
The Oakland Athletics are not a slouch this year. The Oakland Athletics are basically they're like 10 they're like 10 games under 500 and not 40 games under 500. They're not the A's that you have up here.
Okay.
Let's do our fight flight.
What's our fight flight?
Our fight flight is dinner entrees. Dinner entrees. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I heard the topic, I was thinking of things that are cooked in the home.
Yes.
I wasn't thinking about going out to eat. I was thinking about things that are cooked in the home. And I did go to my mother's cooking, if I'm being honest. So there's going to be some Lisa staples in here. But you have the first pick. And so with that, I yield.
All right. I'm gonna do my mom's spaghetti. I got the recipe. It's a family recipe. It's a family passed down by generation to generation to generation. My great grandmother is from Sicily. Um, she's brought this recipe with her, and it's been passed down, and it's a staple in the Johnson household.
As soon as you said mom's spaghetti, you know where I went. There's vomit on his sweater already.
Spaghetti.
8 Mile, good movie. Good movie. Yeah, I can dig the spaghetti. You know, we got a little bit chunky
It's all
style.
about the sauce. It's all about the sauce.
The sauce.
All about the sauce. Ma, you got the sauce. Ma, you got the sauce cooking.
Okay. I think that the only pick that I can take here is a ribeye steak, preferably on the outdoor grill. I don't know how you beat that. You know, just give me a ribeye steak. You
I
can't
don't
really
cook much
lose.
steak. I'll be honest with you. I don't cook much steak. I need a grill.
You know, cast iron pan is a good substitute. I use a cast iron for just about everything.
I need one of those too. I have one of those hex clads, Gordon Ramsay things. I have a few
Rubbish. Rubbish. Get it out.
of it.
No, you're gonna get you a cast iron. Don't buy one. That's Christmas. Number 3, I'm going with my mom's kicking chicken, which is actually just
Ooh.
baked chicken. But she does it. It gets a nice skin on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it a crispy skin, but it has if you run the knife on it, you get a little sound out of it.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
will-
leg quarters, seasoned great, juicy. You can't beat them. If you're going to go chicken, just do it the way it needs to be done, true to the product.
I made chicken wings this weekend, and obviously olive oil, got it all, and then a little sprinkled some paprika on smoked paprika, give that smoky flavor. But then
Smoke it.
there's the seasoning that I picked up from HEB a few weeks ago that I had never used before, and I saw it, and it was actually called Kickin' Chicken.
Oh,
And it's got a little bit of spice to it, but really good.
you get 2 here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go meatloaf. I love a good meatloaf.
This is where we just have a complete departure from reality.
You haven't had my meatloaf. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, you haven't had my meatloaf. And let me be honest with you, it's not my meatloaf. So there's a story behind this meatloaf. There's a story behind this meatloaf.
The tale of the loaf.
And if we got time, we're at 59 minutes here.
We don't really adhere to the clock anymore.
No, but we're gonna try to keep it under an hour 16. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to
want the clock to go back down just a touch. Okay, if you say so.
All right. So when my parents were dating, my dad was working at a Black Eyed Peas, and for the kids in the audience, Black Eyed Peas used to be a restaurant, a chain restaurant that was famous for their home style cooking. He was the manager of this restaurant. He operated the whole scene. Before he quit and before he left, he brought home the cookbook. And my mom wrote down the recipe to the green beans, the mac and cheese.
Hopefully the Black Eyed Peas.
The Black Eyed Peas, obviously. And the meatloaf.
For the once a year that you eat Black Eyed Peas.
Basically the entire thing. The cornbread, everything. She wrote it down. And so I grew up with homemade Black Eyed Peas meatloaf. And my God, man, it is phenomenal. It is the best thing you'll ever put in your mouth. It is so succulent. It is so
Pause. Just pause. I'd like to offer this man immunity for the things that he just said. Do not clip that. Do not use that in a different fashion.
All right.
Let's hear what's next.
Meatloaf, number 2. Number 3. This is tricky. I'm coming in here unprepared.
So am I. I don't have the list down. So we're firing from the hip here.
I will go with chicken noodle soup.
Wow.
Chicken noodle soup. Yeah, homemade chicken noodle soup. Again, my mother's recipe. My mother's a phenomenal cook.
As we're being told.
I tip the cap to my mother for her cooking. She is an amazing woman in the kitchen.
Make sure you send her this. Make sure you send her this.
Yeah, I'll let her know it's mentioned. She probably doesn't even know this is a thing. But her chicken noodle soup is amazing. If you want to cure yourself of a cold or a just any sort of illness, you need to drain the sinuses a little bit. Chicken noodle soup, man. Every single time. You'll go back for not just a second bowl, but probably a third. It's so good.
This opens a can of worms for me because I had basically left all soup-ish dishes off to the side. Yeah. I had left them by the wayside. But now it's solidified my roster that you've opened this door. We'll get to that.
Go chill.
My next pick is going to be what my kids ask for the most. You ask my daughter, who is 2 going on 3, what would you like for dinner? And this 30-year-old says, I want couscous and fish. Okay?
Couscous and fish.
And so I just cook a salmon with Israeli couscous and some kind of green. It's just about getting the salmon skin nice and flaky on the bottom and getting it, crisped up and seasoning it right. You can't go wrong. It's just a fillet of salmon. There's nothing special about it. There's no age-old recipe that makes this work. This is you cook it and you eat it and it's good. Okay. But it's once a week. I'm so bad with the okay. Pause. I'm so bad with the okay.
It's okay.
Like every chug, I'm like, all right, it's game day. Okay. Astros are they're on a little bit of a losing streak. Okay. So we need to turn it around. Javier is on the mound. Okay.
It's okay.
I'm the guy from South Park, the teacher. Okay, drugs are bad. Okay. I'm Mr. Mackey. That's who I am, and I can't stop it. Okay, is just a part of me.
It's at the office when I make a suggestion and I tell my staff like something to do or whatever, I'll be like, "Cool," and they're like, "Cool," and I'm like, "Cool."
For someone who's filmed himself 300 times this year, to not be able to be present enough to get rid of the okay, awful work. I need like a screen presence tutor. Because it means that I say it in real life too. It means that I'm okay. Whenever people do an impression of me, it's in there. It has to be.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not the worst thing.
I'm going to try really hard to not use another one. My last pick is my mom's gumbo.
Oh, okay. So that's your soup.
Christmas gumbo. We don't do we are Creole. We are Kunas. We don't do ham. We don't do Christmas turkey. We do gumbo. It's a chicken and sausage gumbo.
Hell yeah.
That is a recipe that's been passed down from generation to generation. My mom's mom used to do it for Christmas, and we would have 150 people at her house, so she'd have 3 vats of this gumbo gone,
And my mom has learned how to do it. One time, before my mom had really figured out how to do it, we said, we got to take some of this home. We had about a gallon pail of it in the back of the Suburban on the way home from Christmas. And somebody runs a red light. We have to slam on the brakes. And that gumbo comes flying out of that gallon pail in the back of the Suburban. Had to sell the car.
Oh no.
The stench with professional cleanings, everything you can imagine.
Oh, this is beyond BO. This is
BOO.
This is BBO.
The O has left the B. Yes, Seinfeld again. Seinfeld again. This just proves that Seinfeld episodes needs to be a fight flight.
Yeah.
Which means that the audience needs to brush up so that we're not having to sit here and say, oh, you know the one where... So let's do that, audience. You have homework. It's Seinfeld. If you haven't watched it already, shame. But my last pick is the gumbo, the Christmas gumbo.
Okay.
And you have one left.
Going back to my childhood. Going back to my life. What is my wife like? My wife. What is my wife like?
Do not fear me, Gypsy. I'm only here for your tears.
What have we made recently? I'm looking at my kitchen right now and I'm trying to think, what did I cook? You know, I will bring it back to my first pick, because when you're making sauce, you don't just make it for one night. You don't just make it for one night. You make it for a lot of nights.
This is the weekly sauce.
You put it in bags. You throw it in the freezer. Whenever there's company, comes over, you bring it on out.
I've got 3 jars of sauce in my refrigerator right now.
So, yeah, you got sauce. Your company comes over, knock, knock. Hi, we're here.
How you doing? How's the family? How your kids?
We had spaghetti last week. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make lasagna. A lasagna.
Have you ever made your own lasagna?
I have with our spaghetti sauce.
Impressive.
And it's delicious. You put down a layer of sauce, some pasta, some more sauce, some ricotta.
Some ricotta.
Some pasta, and then some more sauce, and then some ricotta. You just repeat. And some Parmesan.
If I may, you've seen these guys on, I guess I would say they're TikTok videos, but I see them on Twitter. It's 2 black guys who wear sunglasses, and they sit at the table, and they say kind of like little loopholes to each other. He's like, when I snap my fingers, you will forget you were ever gay. He's like, I was never gay. Exactly. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're right.
I think I have seen them.
The one that I saw this week was, if you have a pizza, and you put another pizza on top, it's 2 pizzas. If you take a piece of lasagna and you put another piece of lasagna on top, you have 1 piece of lasagna.
Like a 8-layer lasagna.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you just said. Who knows how many layers it is?
Yeah.
I never made my own lasagna. So
good. I went through a bad phase in college where
Stouffer's.
God, Stouffer's lasagna, man.
Yeah, we practically lived with each other for a year of college.
I was hooked. I was hooked on Stouffer's.
We had a problem.
I had a big problem. What do you want for dinner? Lasagna. I felt like Garfield.
Saw another bit today that said that somebody had gotten a lasagna. The instructions were, put this in the microwave for 22 minutes. Have you ever run the microwave
Never.
for 22 minutes?
Never.
There's no way I could put something in the microwave for 22 minutes and not just be sitting there looking at it like this thing is going to explode.
It's
It has to. It has to blow up. But yeah, apparently that's the thing.
It's already metal.
I would be remiss. Okay, we're running up against the clock here.
Right.
I want to give a little pour one out. I'm not going to pour one out. I'm going to pour one in to anyone who has to go to a fall wedding this weekend, because this is perhaps the best sports weekend that remains on the calendar. Just as far as college football goes, there's so many games that are even in the same block that you have to choose from.
Yeah.
Penn State, Oregon play at 6:30, and at the same time, Alabama, Georgia are playing. LSU plays Ole Miss.
Is Texas OU this weekend?
No. I think it's in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. They're usually the first week of Austin City limits. Honestly,
there's just a whole lot of really good games. I believe that the NFL matchups this week are really good. It's also Ryder Cup weekend, last weekend of the baseball season. So everything will be decided this weekend as far as the baseball goes. Monday night is Bengals Broncos. Sunday night is Packers Cowboys. Ravens Chiefs play at 3:25. There is
Texans Titans both 0-3. Looking for that first win.
Texans Titans. Eagles Bucks at noon is a good game.
It'll be a good game. It'll be a good weekend. And let me tell you,
surprising matchup. Colts and Rams is a great game to watch.
I don't know what I'm talking about right now. But for anybody who's out there who recently got engaged and is planning a wedding, and you've got a bro that you're marrying who has
a bro that you're marrying.
Well, okay, I said that wrong.
Rephrase.
Rewind it back.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's a lot wrong with that. But
it's another Seinfeld. Not that there's anything.
Not like not brother, bro, but it's got a guy that likes to watch sports.
Oh, you were going Ilhan Omar on me there. I didn't realize you were talking about like your bro.
I am against fall weddings wholeheartedly. Do not schedule them in the future. I have 1-2 more weddings in my life that I need to go to. That's my brother's, and that's our buddy Taylor's. I have no plans to go to any others.
How about your daughter's? You want to go to your daughter's wedding?
It depends. If it's in the fall, no. That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully she knows better. No.
Well, I'm paying for it, so she better. It's not going to happen. So that's out of the question. Just don't have a fall wedding. It's not fun. And then honestly, first weekend in January is not a good one either.
Just do what I did. Just go with March, April. June. The months where things kind of calm down. It's okay to have a summer wedding.
June.
No one will be mad if you have your wedding in the dog days of baseball season, where the only thing going on is baseball. No. You'll have full attendance too.
No. We're wrapping it up here a little bit. I just want to make a quick shout out to my daughter who turned 1 year old today.
Congrats.
So, congrats to me and my wife who have kept this child alive for a full year.
Yeah, did you think you were capable of that? You did it.
I did it. And also my wife tomorrow, the day this podcast goes out, it's her birthday.
Oh, you get to stack them.
Yeah. So
Lucky
bam. Yeah. So anyway, happy birthday to her. Love them both dearly. They're the love of my life. Wouldn't be here without them. So shout out to them, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Game Day Chug on X and Instagram and YouTube.
The subs would be fantastic.
Yeah, it would be.
It's we have a little steady climb going. Let's you know what? So you said like, you said comment, you said subscribe. Share
as well.
Share with one person who is also a tortured Houston sports fan. Okay,
Yeah.
let's hit the music. Uh-oh.
That's it. I gotta pee.
Okay, well, go ahead and pee. I'm going to do this one.
My team is the worst in the nation. Oh Lord, I can't take this frustration. I'm gonna be the number
Look, folks,
one fan to be.
I believe in the Houston
That's the
Texans.
only thing to keep me going all year.
I'll leave it at that. Let's go win a game. Maybe win another one. See y'all next week.